one is basically, what are those things that we kind of want to keep in mind when we're looking forward in regards to our promotions and things. And one of the things I think is really, really important is, first thing, number one is this one. Nothing more important than figuring out when is your date. The date is really critical in regards to kind of getting some things rolling for lots and lots of reasons. And, again, why this is so important. And you're thinking, hey, am I really going to get promoted by a specific date in 2025? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But I will tell you, you definitely won't if you don't have a date. So therefore, think about this. A couple of things you want to consider is one, your level of readiness. If you've been in your role for an extended period of time, you feel like, hey, I'm performing at, 100%. I get great evaluations, great performance reviews. I've spent some time hanging with my boss and better understanding their particular responsibilities. Good for you. Maybe you're 50%, 75%, 80% there. You might have a tighter date. Maybe that's 3 months. I always say it's probably at least six due to some other factors specific to experience and things like that. But maybe it's 6 months to a year, right? So whenever that is in 2025, pick a date. Okay. And what I want to do is I really want to encourage you to go ahead and text yourself this message. I will get my promotion by whatever date in 2025. So send yourself that text right now. Take a minute and do that. And there's a reason for this. So again, if you could text yourself that, write that down. Again, this is really important. It's really getting your mindset right. And I think one of the key things is just doing that should have really generated some positive emotion for you. And you need some emotion to get excited about the promotion. And emotion carries us through the difficult stuff, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a couple of minutes. The second thing is it creates urgency and accountability. So if you can kick a date out there, it gives you something to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about the who's next, right? So one of the things you want to consider is if you have a date, there's an urgency out there. You can let people know kind of what you're targeting. It helps align any planning that you're going to do. So it's really powerful in regards to urgency. It's really powerful in regards to self accountability because you are putting that out there and making that commitment. And then lastly, it's really allowing you to leverage your subconscious. Okay. So if you think about your subconscious mind, you need to put something on the radar screen for that subconscious to kind of zero in on. And what you'll notice is as soon as you put that date and establish that date and you really believe in that, opportunities and different things are going to start showing up for you. That is going to be really helpful in regards to getting you ready and for promotion and allowing you that particular opportunity. Okay, so when we talk a little bit about the date, those three key things is one, text yourself that information. Do that now. Two, consider this the importance of urgency and accountability in regards to having that date in place. All right. And like I said, just do it. You'll see what I mean by that. And secondly, it lets the power of our mind really be open to receiving opportunities that are going to present themselves related to our particular promotion. All right. So those are the three key things that are related to kind of step one, or the first action thing you can do is pick a date. It requires little to no time other than real honest consideration in regards to your readiness level. Okay. Second thing. All right. So if we're kind of looking at number two, kind of thing one, thing two, if you will, in regards to what you need to get done here, is I mentioned this already. The big one's going to be the who. All right. So who needs to know and how can they help you? All right. And again, it doesn't sound that important, but what you want to really be able to do is generate a list of people. Okay. Starting foremost with your supervisor. So really the step one on the who is taking a look at getting a meeting set with your supervisor. Okay. To discuss basically your interest in the promotion, your time frame and your thought process, and be able to kind of talk a little bit about that with him or her. All right. Or they. So that's really, really important. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're doing that with regards to the who. All right. The second thing we want to do is go ahead and create that list. And this list is going to include your personal as well as your professional folks that are going to be in a position to really provide support, and be able to help you out with regards to getting ready for that promotion. And like I said, the more people you tell, higher levels of accountability, that's going to be really beneficial to you as well. All right. All of those folks, the key question that you want to ask is basically, what do, again, write this down. What, all right, do you think all right, what do you think I need to do to make this promotion happen? All right, so again, that's the question. So once you have set that meeting up with your boss, ask him, her, them that question. What do I need to do to make this promotion happen by this particular date? Once you have an opportunity to create that list of kind of key personal people in your personal network, if you will, friends, family, colleagues, things like that, maybe outside of work, professional communities that you're in. Same idea, pick their brains, say, I want to get a promotion by, June 1st of 2025. This is where I'm at. What do you think I need to do? All right. Same thing with those internal contacts within the organization, starting with your boss and then building those out. Who else is going to be able to answer that question and provide some insight for you? You're going to be able to use that information. And what you're really doing is broadcasting your interest and, again, establishing some momentum and movement forward. Okay, so those are some things that we want to keep in mind, with the who's. All right. Last but not least, again, that we want to kind of keep in mind and we want to make happen if we can. All right, is basically the question is the what. All right. And, what I'm referring to here is your 110%. You've heard that phrase, right? Hey, 110% effort. I don't even know what that means. Again, if I'm giving 100%, I'm giving 100%. But I do believe it applies to your promotional readiness. And I think it's good to be thinking a little bit about this right now, because, again, it's kind of foundational to the success you're going to have in pursuing and being ready for promotion. All right. So what's the plus 10%? This is what you need to do in order to be ready for the promotion. Okay. And that's going to require extra work. Okay. It's going to require extra time. It may require travel, right? It may require an investment. If your company's not going to be supportive of the professional development or things that you need to do to be ready for promotion and you have to own that, it may be requiring some money and some investment on your part. Okay. Maybe you go out, hire a coach, right? Make some of these things happen. So whatever those things are, you need to consider that, I'm going to have to do my job, do it extremely, extremely well. I have to be awesome. I have to be excellent. I have to be top notch. I have to be the only person that they would consider for this promotion, at least based on my current performance in my current role. And then at least 10% commitment more. You're working 60 hours right now. You can expect you're going to have to commit at least 6 hours more per week in regards to getting ready for your promotion and hitting that target date. All right. So those are some things that you want to consider. I like to make sure, again, when you think about this, not only, what this is, this 10%. All right. And I would suggest, again, writing those things down. You can sit down and spend, 15 minutes brainstorming some of these things, getting them on paper. But then the same idea here is who's impacted, right? By this additional 10% of effort, 10% of time, resources, and those types of things. As an example, consider this. If you happen to be married, what about your spouse? All right. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to be putting in longer hours. You're going to be required to maybe take a business trip and go to a conference. You're going to be required to be attending community events, board meetings, whatever that might be associated with your particular position, not as it sits right now, but that next level position, right? What are your next level people doing? What is your boss doing? What is your boss's boss doing? How am I getting exposed to some of those folks? So this is really important, is who's impacted by this extra work, this extra 10%, this extra commitment. I know it's in the short term, right? It might be 3 months, it might be 6 months, It might be 9 months. It's not a lifetime, but it's still really important to kind of consider that and kind of loop those folks in to ensure that you have the support that you need. Okay. And on that note, the last thing here, again, our 1, 2, 3s, if you will. Okay. The last thing here is that support. And I always say you want to have at least a few people. We'll use the number 3. It's magical. All right. That are gonna provide specific support for you, and make at least one of those people personal, a personal connection. It could be a family member, but somebody that's going to be a cheerleader for you. Okay, somebody that's going to support you. When it comes to the work scenario, be strategic with who you select. Okay, maybe that's your boss. Maybe he or she's a champion for you in your promotion. Maybe that's someone else in the organization, that you have a strong relationship with. Maybe they're a notch up from your boss or operating equivalent somewhere else in the organization. They can be a champion for you and supportive. But that's going to be really critical as you pull together your promotional readiness plan and get ready to make that move. All right. The other thing that I would just say is this, if you go out and you share some of this information, remember we talked a little bit about, picking a date, kind of the when, identifying the who's, letting everybody know, hey, I want this promotion by this date. How can they help you? People along the way tend to be naysayers. I say, skip them, right? We don't need to talk to those people. Find the people that are going to be excited for you, excited with you, and be really supportive. That's going to be really critically important. Okay, so if you do nothing else in regards to promotional readiness for next year, 1, make sure you pick a date. All right, and 2, list those people that are going to need to know that, and go out and be ready to ask some questions on how what you need to do to be ready and make that happen. Okay, starting with your boss. Go ahead and today you could actually set up a meeting with your boss, maybe not before the holiday, but right afterwards. And then lastly, number 3 is that 10%. Consider wherever you are, what do you need to do? How much more time, energy, dollars, resources that you need to kind of commit? Who's impacted by that? Communicating with that, and then solicit 3 core supporters and springboard into next year. Good luck. This is Coach Bob. And like I said, if you happen to see this and it was helpful, awesome. We'll be doing a series related to promotional readiness and making that stuff happen in 2025. So keep a lookout, and I'll see you on the next LinkedIn Live.